Start with Coach Oats. Have Coach make an opening statement. We'll go ahead and take some questions. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Challenged our guys before the game to, make sure they were ready to go out of the gate. We needed to play harder than them. I thought our rebounding to start the game was outstanding. At one point early in the game, the second chance points were 18-3. So, we obviously hit a lot of threes. We didn't even shoot that great, really. We took a lot of them, but a lot of them came on the old board. So, really, our defense in the first half, our offensive rebounding, a lot of effort stuff, that's where I was most happy with. That's what we told our guys our focus was going to be on. Like, the offense will take care of itself, and we'll, let's make sure we play harder. The blue-collar points that we chart, we had them doubled on the game, so I think it was 102-51. So we were trying to focus on those areas and then not turn the ball over, and I think our offense takes care of itself when we do that, and it took care of itself tonight.
Yeah, you talked about the rebounding improving. Earlier this season you talked about minimizing turnovers. Now it was rebounding coming into this game. They listened to that. I mean, how would you assess this group and how it listens to kind of the lessons and points of emphasis you guys have throughout the year?
They just, like you said, we had turnover issues. We made a big point of emphasis on it. 3 out of the last 4 games we've been in single digits. We've really been on them about rebounding because I thought our rebounding dropped off. We were at one point 4th in the country in offensive rebounding rate, and we've dropped barely in the top 50. So we've just been all over them about it, and they did it. So, it's one of those things we told them it can't be like the go to a carnival and you got the whack-a-mole game and you keep having to hit the thing pop up. Like, we can't keep addressing the same issues that pop up. Let's get them fixed and let's keep them fixed. It's kind of our point. So it's good to see the turnovers back down. It had been single digits back to back. We're up to 13 against Arkansas. Now it's back down to 8 today. So let's hope the rebounding isn't something that we have to keep addressing. Let's get it addressed. It was great today. Let's try to make sure it's great at Vanderbilt.
What type of message does a win like this send to the rest of the conference? And also, you guys took over first place today.
Did A&M play yet or not?
You still have a game on.
Oh, half game on them. Did they win today?
They play at 5.
They play at 5. Okay.
Or I guess they're playing now.
Yeah, so we, obviously it helped us in trying to win the league that Tennessee lost. We only get them once at their place. So, we're going to have to take care of business every game up until then. But I talked to our guys before our game. I told them, like, Tennessee lost at home to Kentucky. Anything can happen in this league. So let's come out and take care of business. I've kind of been talking to our guys. We got obviously up for the Arkansas game, and we're going to get up for some other games. But this is I said it's got to be almost surgical, methodical. Prep yourself, do what you have to do, take care of business. It takes what it takes, and we can't not prep for a game because the team's 1-3 or whatever they may be. So I think the group's mature. They showed they came out ready to go at the start of the game. I'm not necessarily going to call this a statement win. I mean, we made a lot of threes, and we're going to have to come out and do it again on the road at Vanderbilt to be able to keep the lead because Tennessee's defense has been unbelievable. So I don't see them dropping too many more games, to be honest with you.
Has anything surprised you about not only Brandon Miller's game on the court, but how he's kind of handled everything with all the attention and on the team and himself?
Yeah, he's a really grounded kid. If you knew his parents, you'd understand why he's such a good kid. They've kept him grounded. He's fun-loving, doesn't take anything, including himself, too seriously, but he's, very businesslike and works, but he has a lot of fun while he's doing it. He's fun to be around. He's fun to coach. He's great with the guys. He pulls for his teammates to do well. I think when you've got the kind of character and attitude that he has, like, good things come to you, and he's obviously a really talented kid. It was great to get him started with that first 3, and he kind of had a barrage after that. If you look at his numbers, like he shot 16 shots and scored 31 points and really didn't get to the free throw line. He only went to the free throw line once. So, he one of the more efficient nights I've ever seen as a player.
Following up on John's question, just Brandon said that, if you're locked in from the moment you wake up. Did you sense that today? Was there something different about him, or was he just kind of the same as he always is?
I didn't sense anything different, to be honest with you, but that's not a bad thing because he's been pretty good all year. So we kind of ran that first set to get him going. He hit it, and he's not a kid that has to hit his first shot to get going, though. He can miss his first two and still go on a run because he's got a lot of confidence. He misses a couple, it's not going to shake him. So he's right, though. When you're locked in, you're locked in. We talked about as a team, if you're locked in on defense. You're locked in when you go to the free throw line. You look at our free throws tonight, we're 16 of 20. Pringle goes to the line, a guy that struggles a lot. He's goes 4 of 7, which is pretty good for him. Him and Charles are the only guys that missed any free throws tonight. So I thought our guys were locked in. The defensive end, free throws, took care of the ball. Got to the O boards, all the effort stuff, the focus stuff, being locked in. They were good at tonight.
Yeah, Coach, 2 years ago you hit 23 threes, which was a program record against LSU. Tonight you had 20. Is it an LSU thing or just a coincidence?
It's different players, different staff, just a coincidence. 20's a lot. We got some shooters. We value shooting. So we're going to try to keep recruiting best shooters we can in the country to come here. I think they see. We shot 54. A lot of teams don't shoot 54 in a span of 3 or 4 games. So we'll keep taking them. If you're open, you shoot it here.
One of the things Brandon mentioned was kind of getting back to the basics and preparing for Vanderbilt was what he told us. Just what does it say that the players are self-regulating themselves and try to stay grounded at this point?
Yeah, we'll enjoy this one tonight. Shoot, they're all in the weight room right now. We lift after games. They're getting work in right now. So I think helps keep them very businesslike. Game's over. We get in the weight room and get your lift in, get your recovery with the trainer. We've got the Vanderbilt personnel loaded up. They can look at it on their phones, devices while they're getting treatment. We come in tomorrow. It'll be a light day physically for them, but we'll get the prep in on the video, and very, like I said before, very surgical, methodical, business-like. It takes what it takes. We got to prep. We got to be ready to go. And our foundation here, we try to sell blue collar. Our foundation's our defense, our rebounding, our tough stuff. I felt like we'd gotten away from that. The Gonzaga-Memphis games, our defense wasn't there. Our rebounding had kind of fallen apart here the last few weeks. So I felt like today was a day we got back to who we are, our foundation, defense, rebounding, blue collar, playing tough, making tough plays. And offense will take care of itself if we do that. And obviously we got to take care of the ball too.
Hey, Coach. You were seen on camera getting after the guys at the 12-minute timeout in the second half. What was the message to your team when y'all was up 36?
They caught me on camera doing something. Was it bad? Oh, okay. I can't remember exactly what that was the under 12 media timeout. I think in the first 8 minutes of the game, I think we outscored them by very few, and we were down on the glass. So we've talked with this group about playing 40 minutes because we've been up on teams before, and we didn't feel like we closed, well. Get up. Happened to Ole Miss. We're up 27. They cut it to 15. Very next game, Kentucky, we're up 27 at the under 8. We talked to them. We got to learn, get better. And we were better, but I thought we didn't even close that all the way to the final buzzer. So we talked at halftime, what are we going to do? We're up 37. So you'd have to tell me what the score is. But we weren't up much more than 37 and I wasn't very happy with our effort in the start of the second half. We were down on the glass. We weren't rebounding like we needed to. Our pace stunk. We weren't playing fast like we wanted to play. I thought guys were walking the ball up the floor. Just wasn't what we did in the first 20 minutes. So why are we going away from what worked so well for the first 20 minutes and play this? So I tried to get them redirected on let's get back to doing what we did in the first 20 minutes.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about a couple guys. I know you're trying to get Dom Welch back into the rotation, and I know physically he missed a lot of time. How have you seen him progress? And then also, second guy, Rylan Griffin, making a lot of shots, gave you some production off the bench tonight.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, Dom's a guy that we know can shoot, and we want to get him going. So, like, we ran some stuff for him. We'd like for, he hit the 1-3 there. Hopefully that gets going. I mean, he shot almost 40% in his career at St. Bonaventure's, which they play a really good level of basketball there. He just was hurt for so long, is out. We want to get him going. We feel like him and Ryland can really help our shooting, space the floor out. They're big wings. They can help us defensively. So we tried to get them as many minutes as we could in a game like this today. Neither one of them shot it great, but they both got game reps. What did Dom end up going? 1 for 5. I mean, he's a guy that should go 2 for 5. So he's close. He could easily go 3 or 5, 4 or 5 when he's on. And then Ryland's a much better shooter than what he's been showing. So we're trying to get those guys some game reps and get them some rhythm.
Coach, a young team playing with a lot of confidence right now. What has impressed you the most so far in this stretch in conference play?
I mean, the maturity of our guys. It's easy for a young group to build up leads and then not do what you're supposed to once you build up the lead. You kind of saw a little bit against Ole Miss. I think after that, we kind of addressed it. They've done better as it. I think our defense, we talked all offseason about we got to get our defense back. We finished 3rd in the country 2 years ago and we won the SEC, 92nd last year. We were middle of the pack and we were 92nd. Our offense efficiency actually improved from year 2 to year 3. Nobody would believe it, but it did. Because we won games at such a high level the year before that. Our defense is where it's at. Our offense will follow. I think that showed today. So just the defensive intensity, the ability to pick up our scheme, the game plans, the focus, and to be honest with you, their chemistry's been really good. I mean, we've got 10 guys that can all play, and I mean, you see what Pringle's capable of doing. You see what Ryland Griffin or Dom Welch and those guys. It's hard to get those guys a ton of minutes all the time. So their attitude's been great, chemistry's been good. They've been good teammates. So I think there's a few things, but those would be some of the ones that come to the top of my head right out of the gate.
Coach, your team has had some big and dominant wins this year. How do you help keep them kind of humble and focused on what's next and keep them working as hard as it took to get to where they are now?
Well, we're trying to win the SEC. I looked at, we're a big analytics program. We got a company that we work with, and I looked at Ken Palm. They didn't have Tennessee losing another game the rest of the year before this one. So if we're going to try to compete for the SEC, there's some teams at the top of this thing that are playing at a high level. We can't afford to drop games we're not supposed to drop. So when you got to win your home games to win it. We don't get Tennessee at home. So, we're definitely not overlooking anybody until Tennessee. We're telling our guys, like, if we're going to compete for a championship like we did 2 years ago, like, you got to win the games you're supposed to win. So, and we know we're more talented than some teams coming in. Like, I'm not going to try to pump teams up bigger than what they are. I don't lie to our guys. But we tell them, like, the more talented teams don't always win. The more talented teams win when they play harder, play more together, and are more focused and locked in. So we need to play harder. We did today. Be more focused. I thought we were today. And we were locked in. So that's kind of our messaging to our team. Like, we're not overlooking anybody. We're not going to lie and tell you they're a better team than you. They're not on some of these games. But they can still beat you if you don't take care of those things. And we have full control over those things. Like, how hard do we play? How locked in are we? How great is our preparation coming in? Stuff that we have full control over, we feel like we should be better than the other team.
Coach, there were two moments when the stadium kind of erupted and the team got real hyped. First was obviously when Jaden Bradley hit that buzzer beater. But the second one was at the end of the game when Adam hit that three. How does that speak to the unity of your team when someone gets in just for the last couple minutes of the game and makes a shot and it's the most excited your team gets?
No, I was really happy for Adam. He's an unbelievable kid. If you had the chance to get to know him, he's added a lot to our program. We've had some really good walk-ons since I've been here. BJ and Tyler were great. Adam's in that same mold. So for him to come in and hit the first, and he's a shooter. He kid scored a lot of points in high school. He does great on our scout team. So I was glad that the crowd gave him the eruption they gave him. And look, the crowd was great. Sell out, over 2,200 students. They were great. We need it to keep happening. It'd be great if we could sell out every single home game the rest of the year. I think we're putting a product out on the floor that people want to come to get every seat filled in the arena. You know, people that have tickets that aren't using them, let's give them away to somebody that can use them. Let's make sure the place is loud because it's a lot more fun to play in an environment like that. So, yeah, the half-court shot there in the half was great. The 3 by Contra was great. It got pretty loud when Pringle had the tip dunk there too. So we'll give them some plays they can cheer about. We shoot some games we just need to come in and cheers on to get some stops on defense and bring some energy to the game. So, you know, that's part of being in college athletics. Like I don't think professional sports get nearly that excited. They don't have 2,200 students in one section like they do in college. So I love college basketball. That's a big part of why a lot of people love it. So let's keep it rolling. Thanks.